All right. Welcome back, everyone, for another deep dive. Today, we're looking at some super practical English phrases that anyone can start using right away, even if you're just starting to learn the language.
That's right.
So no matter if you're, planning a trip abroad or just want to impress your friends with your English skills, you're in the right place.
Absolutely.
Because we're going to be breaking down 15 essential phrases that you can use to order food confidently in all kinds of situations,
Right.
Whether you're at a restaurant, a cafe, even ordering takeout. So are you ready to dive in?
I am definitely ready.
Okay, let's start with the absolute basics. You walk into a restaurant.
Yeah.
What's the first thing you need?
The menu.
You got it, the menu.
Yeah.
So how do you ask for that in English?
Can I see the menu, please?
Perfect. Can I see the menu, please? Now, let's say you're looking at the menu
Okay.
and you're curious about what the chef is recommending that day.
Okay.
How would you ask about the special?
What is today's special?
You got it. What is today's special? You know what's interesting to me is how these phrases, they're so simple, but they're so effective.
They are.
You don't need to use complex grammar or a ton of vocabulary. Just these basic phrases can help you communicate your needs.
Exactly. And that's what A1 level is all about.
Right.
It's about those essential communication needs. So even with a limited vocabulary, you can still get your message across.
Absolutely. And that's so empowering for language learners. It's like, okay, I can actually do this.
Yes, you can.
I can travel to a new country and order food without feeling totally lost.
You're not alone.
Right.
A lot of people feel that way when they first start learning a new language. But the thing is, everyone starts somewhere.
Absolutely.
And these basic phrases are like a stepping stone to fluency.
Okay, so we've got the menu. We've asked about the specials. What's next?
We need a table.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We need a table. So how do we ask for a table for two?
I'd like a table for two, please.
Perfect. I'd like a table for two, please. Now you're at your table.
Yeah.
You're probably feeling a little thirsty from all that traveling or exploring.
Definitely.
How do you ask for some water?
Can I have some water, please?
Can I have some water, please? Easy peasy. What I find fascinating is that these phrases,
Yeah.
they work at all sorts of restaurants, whether it's like a casual diner or a fancy five-star restaurant.
It's true.
These basic phrases are kind of universal.
Yeah, that's the beauty of A1 level phrases.
Yeah.
They're the foundation.
Right.
And from there, you can build on them.
Okay, so how would you build on that?
So, for example, if you want sparkling water instead of still water, you could say, "Can I have some sparkling water, please?"
Oh, I see.
It's about taking those basic building blocks and adding your own touch.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, so now we've got our table, we've got our water, we're looking at the menu, but maybe we're feeling a little overwhelmed.
Yeah, menus can be confusing sometimes.
Especially in a foreign country.
Yeah.
With all these unfamiliar dishes.
That's where a good recommendation comes in.
Yeah, so how do we ask for a recommendation?
What do you recommend?
What do you recommend? Simple and effective.
Absolutely.
And you know what I love about asking for recommendations?
What's that?
Is that it opens up a conversation.
It does.
You can ask the server about the dish, what's in it, how it's prepared.
You could ask, is it spicy?
Exactly. Is it
Right.
spicy? What's it served with? It's a chance to really engage with the local culture.
And get a truly authentic experience.
All right, so we've gotten a recommendation.
Okay.
We've made our decision.
Yep.
We're ready to order.
What are you having?
I'm feeling like a classic burger today.
Good choice.
So I would say, I'll have the burger, please.
I'll have the burger, please.
Now, let's say I'm not a big fan of onions.
Okay.
How do I ask for my burger without onions?
You could say, "Can I get this without onions?"
Can I get this without onions? Or maybe I want to swap out the fries for a salad.
Sure, you could say, "Can I substitute the fries for a salad?"
Can I substitute the fries for a salad? It's amazing how these phrases give you the power to really customize your order.
It is.
And, it's not just about preferences.
What do you mean?
It's also about dietary restrictions.
That's right.
Some people might be allergic to certain ingredients or have specific dietary needs.
So you could say, "I'm allergic to shellfish. Are there any dishes without it?"
Exactly. Or I'm vegetarian. Do you have vegetarian options? It's all about communicating clearly and politely.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's shift gears for a second.
Okay.
Imagine you're in a cafe and you see a pastry that looks absolutely delicious.
I love pastries.
Me too. But you have no idea what it is.
What do you do?
You just point to it and say, "What is this?"
What is this?
It's simple, direct, and it can lead to some amazing discoveries.
You never know what hidden gem you might find.
That's so true.
And speaking of discoveries, what about bakeries?
Oh, bakeries are my weakness.
So many delicious treats.
I know. So let's say we walk into a bakery and we want to see what they have.
You could ask, do you have any pastries?
Do you have any pastries?
Yeah.
And then if we spot a croissant that's calling our name, we can say, I'll take a croissant, please.
I'll take a croissant, please. Now you're talking my language.
Right. Okay, back to the restaurant.
Yeah.
We've finished our delicious meal. And now it's time to ask for the bill.
Okay, how do we do that politely?
Excuse me. Could I have the bill, please?
Excuse me, could I have the bill, please?
Now, this is where things can get a little tricky.
How so?
Because tipping customs can vary widely from country to country.
That's true.
In some places, it's expected to leave a tip.
Mm-hmm.
While in other places, it might even be considered rude.
So it's always a good idea to do a little research before you travel.
Exactly.
So you know what the local customs are.
And to avoid any awkward situations.
And if you're not sure, you can always ask, is service included?
Is service included? That's a great tip. All right, so we've paid the bill, but maybe we couldn't finish all our food.
Happens to the best of us.
And we want to take the leftovers home.
Okay, how do we ask for a to-go box?
Can I get this to go?
Can I get this to go?
It's amazing how these simple phrases can be adapted to so many different scenarios.
It really shows how flexible language can be.
And you know what else is fascinating?
What's that?
Is how even within English-speaking countries, you'll encounter different accents and dialects.
Absolutely.
So don't be afraid to ask someone to repeat themselves if you don't understand something.
It's better to ask than to pretend you understand.
Okay. Ready for our final food order challenge?
Bring it on.
Pizza.
Everyone loves pizza.
So how do we start our pizza order?
I'd like to order a pizza, please.
I'd like to order pizza, please. Then we can specify our toppings.
Like pepperoni and mushrooms.
Exactly. Or maybe we're feeling adventurous and want to try something new.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, we need to choose our crust.
Thin crust or thick crust?
Tough choices. And finally, if we're in a hurry, we can always ask, how long will it take?
How long will it take?
So there you have it. 15 essential English phrases for ordering food like a pro. Remember, it's not just about memorizing these phrases. It's about understanding the underlying structure and using them as building blocks to create your own sentences.
And don't be afraid to make mistakes.
Mistakes are part of the learning process. The more you practice, the more confident you'll become.
And the more you'll be able to explore the world of food.
Absolutely. So what do you say? Are you ready to go out there and order some delicious food in English?
I'm ready. Let's go.
Awesome. And that's it for our deep dive this week. But before we go, I want to leave you with a thought.
Okay.
We've talked about ordering food in English.
Right.
But what about ordering food in other languages?
Oh, that's a good one.
You know, challenging yourself to learn a few basic phrases in another language can really open up a whole new world of culinary experiences.
I completely agree.
So maybe next time you're feeling adventurous, why not try ordering in Spanish or French or even Mandarin? The possibilities are endless. So keep learning, keep exploring, and keep enjoying delicious food from around the world.
Bon appétit!